GOLDOT, unveiling treasures.
Yeah, g'day all. I've got the Gold Kruzer here. A lot of people have been asking for a bit more information on this machine, which has been out for a little while now, but it's still pretty new. Yeah, so I'll just do a little rundown of some of the features, and we'll show you how it runs. So yeah, first of all, it's 5 meters waterproof. Comes with wireless headphones, but those headphones are not waterproof. There are optional waterproof headphones as an accessory if you want to go get down in a creek or down in the water somewhere. So it's got a S-bend shaft, nice armrest with a armrest strap. It's a 3-piece shaft, so you got the top S bit, the middle section, and then the lower shaft, so you can pack it up nice and compact. The lower stem is carbon fibre, so very light and very strong. The box being waterproof, everything's all in the one box, which includes the lithium battery. Should give you about 16 hours runtime off a charge. Now if you want to plug in some of the headphones of your choice, then you've got this little adapter lead with 1/4 inch socket, and the way I've mounted it, I've used an old little U-bracket and just sort of clipped it upside down, but you can tape it up, you can zip tie it to the stem, whatever you like. Now on it at the moment is the 7.5 by 4 inch elliptical coil, which comes with the machine, and you also get the 10 by 5, which is a concentric. So the concentric give you a bit more depth, but better for, you know, milder ground, more open areas. Where I like to use a VLF is in little washouts, scrubby areas, and yeah, the little elliptical is the choice for that. And that was my favourite coil on the previous Gold Racer as well. Alright, so on the front panel, I won't go through everything, just really quickly. We've got an on-off ground balance button here. Just above that is pinpoint, but the thing, it has such sharp audio that I don't think many people are going to use pinpoint. Maybe if you're using this machine to hunt for jewellery in one of the discrimination modes, you might use the pinpoint. Volume up and down, that's a permanent adjustment. What I mean by that is you don't have to go in the menu to adjust the volume. Whenever you're detecting, you can just use it up and down and adjust your volume, which is quite handy. Then we've got a boost button, so if you get a faint signal and you want to double check it, you can temporarily engage the boost. And then we've got settings options button to access some of the settings. Alright, it's a very nice compact machine, very well built. The handle is quite sort of rubbery, so it's got a nice grip to it. Now, being fully waterproof, even if you don't intend to do any water hunting with it, the beauty of that means it's also dust proof. Now, being a gold detector, it always gets dusty, so you can get home and you can hose it down. yeah, and clean it up and keep it looking like new. Alright, so we'll take it out and I'll show you how it runs. Alright, so to get this thing running, we just turn the on off, press the on off button. LD means load. When it's happy, you'll hear the threshold turn on. Now all the settings are down here. Just press the settings button and we've got gain 75, and using the plus and minus here we can adjust that up or down as required. Using the up and down arrows just scrolls us down the menu. So next one is threshold. Pretty straightforward. You don't want it too loud and you don't want it off either. You want it where you just hear that faint smooth hum, because that's your reference. Next one down is our ISAT. Now if you go flat out, it smooths it so much that you actually lose the threshold. So you want that as low as possible, but just to maintain a nice stable threshold. I find usually 2 or 3 is plenty, depending on the ground, depending on where you gain, your sensitivity is set. So all we really need to do is do a ground balance. So you just hold the ground balance button in, pump the coil up and down, close to the ground, and when the detector gives you a beep, it tells you it's ready. Now what I got there, 0.1 gram little prickly piece of gold. Alright, now just in the forest here, so we'll go somewhere where we actually might have a chance of finding something and show you how it runs on some mineralised ground. Very nice, positive, zippy. I just turn the threshold up, so we hit settings, find threshold in the list. I'll go flat out. Now this is through the headphones. As I say, there's a lot of volume on this machine. Now when the little square sort of indicator of where you actually are, when it's at the top, that's when you can switch between general, fast, boost and micro modes. But in that up there, you've permanently got control over your volume. So volume is just up and down. So if you want to go into settings or the other more advanced options, you've got to press the settings button. It will jump in settings. You press settings again and it jumps into options. If you press it again, it jumps back to the top. So when it's up the top, we can adjust our volume up and down. So with headphones, this thing's very loud and I'm getting plenty of volume on 3. I'll turn it up, flat out. Now this is through headphones. I reckon a prospector over the other side of the hill would hear that. Alright, I'll just show you what how the ground sounds like. So down here we've got GB for ground balance, so that's our ground balance button. The beeping means it's happy. I usually let it go for 2 or 3 beeps just to make sure. There's another target. Alright, we'll dig that one later. Now you can see how smooth that's running. Now I'm on 77 on the gain, which is pretty high, and I sat on 2, which is pretty low, so quite aggressive settings. Now we'll get into the high 80s. Now it goes to 99 as maximum, so we're very up on the sensitivity. Now that there, where the threshold drops and then you get a signal, that's just a hot rock. You can pretty much ignore those. Now on the ID, it's coming up 99, which that's what a hot rock is. Really high or very low. Safe to ignore that. Now, where it's not very safe is if there is a little nugget under that, down at depth, it's probably not going to see it. So if it's a hot rock on the surface, you can just kick them out of the way and recheck. Now it's not super hot ground we're in here, but it's not mild either. So for a very high frequency VLF, this is handling the ground very nicely. Now that there, nice little faint signal. Threshold's not nulling out. That's something I would investigate. Now, when the signal's very faint, you won't get an ID on the screen because you know, it's not getting enough of a signal there to work out what it is. So I'll give that a little bit of a scrape with the boot. Now the ground under there is fairly red, so I'll just do a ground balance next to it. $71. Now that's pretty good. I'll have to get the pick and give that a scrape. Let's see what we got. I've got it out of the hole, and yeah, it's not sounding too promising now. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's definitely it's not obviously a hot rock, but it's not obviously a target, so let's still investigate it. Well, the hole's filled in. That's all it was. Little hot rock, but it's given a funny old signal, so that'll go in the dolly pot. You never know. But yeah, I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of how it runs, and stay tuned for more videos.